Scottish Legends Championship is lined up and ready to go. Championship still up for grabs between Ross Marshall and Carol Brown. It's completely level on points before we start, and I'm going to speak to a man on pole position, David Newell. David, right in the thick of it here. Are you out to help yourself, or are you out thinking about the championship?
Well, obviously it's the first time I've started on pole, so it's probably my best chance of getting a win, but in the same respect, I know Ross and Carol are dicing for the championship. There's hardly any points between them, so I would hate to compromise Ross's championship by doing something stupid, but I'm not giving him an easy, put it that way.
Exactly, if you play it a bit leery, he might think to himself, I don't want to get involved in this, I want to finish at least and get some points. So if you look like a madman, maybe that'll play out in your favour.
Well, okay, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, give that a go, let's see how that pans out. Good luck. We'll move back, we'll speak to Ross, who started second. Ross, there's very little points in it. I think, if anything, Ross just slightly behind in points from our rough math we were doing after the first race. David on pole, another team car. You expect him to move out of the way?
No, it's another Burnett car, but there's no team orders. At the beginning of the year we set out to get 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got that, so now it's a free for all. David letting us run us, please.
Do you need the win for the points? Second good enough for you to claw that back from Carol going into the final race of the day?
No, I need to get the win because getting to that extra 5 points, so Carol's quick no matter where she starts in the grid, so she'll be through the pack in no time. So I need to get in front of this car in front of me. Just see where Carol finishes up, falls from my port.
I take it you're not planning on looking in your mirrors, but it wouldn't be that nice at half race distance to see that black number 7 car behind you, would it?
No, definitely not. I just hope she gets a clean run and then it goes into the final race the way it is just now. And then let's have a good clean race in the final.
Good luck.
Cheers.
There we go, this is going to be a cracking race. I'll hand it to Rich.
So thank you very much, Joe Tanner, as the cars leave the holding area for heat number 2 of the Scottish Legends here at Knockhill, the final round of the year. And well, we've seen Carol Brown win heat number 1, but Ross Marshall come all the way from the back of the grid to get himself into second place. And this time Ross Marshall starting near the front, and it's all about Carol Brown. Carol must come from the back to get any sort of championship hope. As Joe Tanner just said, Carol has a slight lead in the championship. It's very, very small, but can she come from the back of the grid all the way through? As you can see, glorious weather conditions here at a beautiful sunny Knockhill. And this is Chris Hines making his way along pit lane. Directly in front of him we have got Paul O'Brien, but the famous Stars and Stripes car of Kieran Gallagher that's been around for quite a few years now. Many a great driver has driven that car, none less than John Higgins himself. So here we are in the pit lane. This is heat number 2. Remember, there is a final to go, and we shall see exactly how this is going to pan out. It's going to be a cracker, as legend racing at Knockhill Racing Circuit always is fantastic. These guys always put in a good show. Paul O'Brien, we're on board with him. Paul still in with a tiny little chance of the championship. So we'll have to see if he can make this work. He really needs a bit of bad luck to follow this person here, Carol Brown and Ross Marshall, for him to take the championship, but we're making our way onto track just now, and as we do that the grid starts to scroll across the screen. On pole position is Rally Davey Newell on pole position from Ross Marshall. Oh, Ross is in the front with the grid. Carol has got her work definitely cut out. Rookie grid for Rally Davey, the rookie man, and Ross Marshall in the main grid. John Bushby is second with David Meiklejohn fourth place. Paul O'Brien and Davey Hunter, two very quick Burnett Motorsport guys in 5th and 6th, with Kieran Murray, who's making a good entrance in the team car, and Kevin Kettlewell. Ross Mickle and Dave Allen, keep your eyes out for Dave Allen, one of the rookies, very quick, very talented driver, and Billy Waite and Ger McCosh, the man that's been around Legends forever. Paul Mackay and Daniel Mackay, and all Mackay for row there. That should be quite interesting with father and son. Carol Brown and Colin Atkinson. Carol Brown all the way at the back of the grid. She's got to make this work. Hines and Webb and Gallagher and Palazzo, with right on the very back row of the grid we have got driver number 44, Mike Bain, making an appearance, and he is starting off the back of the rookie grid, right at the back of the pack. As we are heading towards the hairpin, we see the Knockhill St Leon there leading these cars round again. I keep saying in glorious sunshine, beautiful weather here in Knockhill today. Good crowd in attendance as well, and we are about to go racing for heat number 2 of the Legends as they come into the hairpin, accelerating and heating up the brakes, heating up the tyres. This is going to be an absolute cracker. Colin Atkinson on the left, Carol Brown in front of us, on board with Scott Hines as we come round the hairpin, and we are now going to be heading up the straight off Knockhill. Here we go, we are about to go racing, and this is where it's going to start getting very, very interesting. The red lights are already on. The pace car has pulled off the track, so it's all over to Rally Dave to control the start as up the hill they come, and we are about to go racing. The revs creeping up as we go across the start line, and away we go. We head down underneath the Beatson's Bridge, and everybody fans out and tries to get a good position and possible jump as they go in towards St Curves. But it looks like it's Rally Dave who leads over the top of the hill. We're on board, I believe, with Ross Marshall as we come downhill, but you can see just how busy a track gets with these 5/8 scale American hot rods. And Jared McCosh goes off on the left. McCosh goes into the gravel of Scotsman before they even make the corner, and another off. Who's that? Looked like that could have been Miko John just out of our sight there. That's all happening straight away, and it was all happening in front of Scott Hines and Carol Brown there. Carol has managed to get through that, and there will be a huge sigh of relief on the part of her, I can guarantee that, because it's not what you're wanting when you're having to try and come through from the back of a Legends field, seeing cars spear off the road left, right and centre in front of you. But it's a Burnett 1, 2, 3. It's a Burnett 1, 2, 3, 4 in fact, because that's Paul O'Brien who's got himself up into 4th place just now. So it's Marshall, Rally Dave, Dave Hunter, and then we have got Paul O'Brien as we get a rather interesting view of the front damper on Rally Dave's car. There you can see how much that was working coming through the hairpin. But up the main straight the cars now go. We're just about to go into lap 2 out of 8 as Ross Marshall, Rally Dave and Dave Hunter, your top 3 as they come over the crest hill. Chris Hines picking up a huge hole in the air from Paul Mackay there. Looks like he was going to try and pull it passing towards St Curves, but Paul Mackay pretty late on the brakes. Good driving from Paul Mackay there. You can see just how quick both those guys went over the top of St Curves and through Leslie's there. Somebody's locking up mid-back. Daniel Mackay, straight into the side of Billy Waite. Daniel Mackay, and Billy Waite loses a wheel. Driver number 17, Billy Waite, he's lost a wheel, and I don't think Billy knows he's actually lost a wheel yet, to tell the truth, because he's still rejoining from the gravel and trying to get a bit of a pace on there. But what a shame for Billy Waite. It looked like Daniel Mackay locked up a front wheel there, locked up a wheel with Kevin Kettlewell right in the middle of that, and T-bones the side of Billy Waite. But never mind, back at the hairpin, this is where the action is all about. Ross Marshall has done what he needs to do. He's at the front, although he's not getting it easy. Here comes car number 7, just up the inside of Dave Allen, with Kieran Murray following through. Car number 7, Carol Brown, she needs to finish second. Carol has got no other choice, she needs to finish second in this to keep the points where they are. As we go, great picture there. That's Kieran Murray hard at work in the number 5 team car for Burnet Motorsport. Look at the eyes, and a little bit opposite lock there as he goes over the top of St Curves and through Leslie's. That's a cracking view. I've never seen that camera angle yet. I'm going to have to give our producer a little bit of a pat in the back for that. That's cracking camera work there as the guys down through Butchers up towards the very tricky and important John Away chicane. Carol Brown away through and up the back straight, and Billy Waite has finally decided to retire, as we see a little replay in the top left hand screen of the shot there, and just unlucky Billy Waite, always in the wrong place at the wrong time. It just happens in legend racing, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Meanwhile, these guys coming through Clark Corner, good shot of the cars coming through on the top of the hill, then a little bit of a 4-wheel drift there, as there's the Heinz car, the black Heinz car accelerates and heads towards the hairpin just now. Beautiful weather conditions, and these guys really are making these cars work very, very hard. The Legends get such a hard time around Knockhill Racing Circuit, as we're now on to lap 4. Onto lap 4 is still Ross Marshall, Rally Dave and Dave Hunter. Burnett 1, 2, 3, 4. Now where is Carol Brown? Has she managed to sneak up into that 5th position yet? We'll need to try and get a visual on Carol Brown, and keep your eyes out as also, we've lost Jared McCosh, but we have still got in the mix Ross Mickle. And Mickle is a fast man. You can never ever not count Ross Mickle. One man that can make it work on any given day. Sometimes a little bit inconsistent, but we'll soon see if he can change that around for next year in 2013. As the guys come over the crest at Clark's, it's there. Mickle's in 5th position, and he's given Paul O'Brien a hard time. There's Carol Brown just coming through. The car's got quite a bit of work to do here, but Rally Dave is keeping Ross Marshall very honest as they've hit the brakes for the hairpin at Knockhill. Come through the corner. If we look further back down, there's Carol Brown, car number 7, and she is, she's doing a good job actually, but she needs to try and get a little bit more of a wriggle on to get up to the front there. Easier said than done sitting in my chair here watching this on a screen. But over the crest of the hill and under the Beatson's Bridge onto lap 5 out of 8. Not a long time around Knockhill. If you're on the pace, you're down to low minutes. If you're on absolute lap record pace like John Higgins and Chris Grieve would be you'd be into the 59 second bracket. But these guys just skimming minute point fours, and they're absolutely flying around Knockhill. As a great onboard view, you can see just how blind the John O'Brien chicane is there as we went over the top of it with Ross Marshall. But we picked back up with Carol Brown. Ooh, using a little bit more track than actually needed there, Carol. And the stewards keep a very, very close eye on that, because if you exceed the track limits, you will be given a driver warning flag. Now, Carol has been really, really ruthless on these last couple of laps, and she has caught up so much onto the back of Ross Mickle as they're heading towards the hairpin now. These 5, 6, 7 cars all on a line, fanning out in the brakes here. What fantastic legend racing this really is, as they all come through the hairpin. Sorry, 6 cars there. And Ross Mickle still on the back of Paul O'Brien, who was sideways at the hairpin, and that's going to kill Paul O'Brien's drive up the main straight, and Ross Mickle just pulls out and drives past as Rally Dave drives into the rear of Ross Marshall. That's bump drafting with just maybe a little bit too much of a hit there. Has that sent Ross Marshall too hot over the top of the curves? No, he's managed to hold that there, but maybe a little bit too much aggression from Rally Dave as we look further back down the field there. Through the Scotsman corner, they both come, and now Carol Brown is giving Paul O'Brien a hard time. O'Brien runs wide, and Paul O'Brien maybe driving just that little bit too hard now in the number 9 car. A little bit of the red mist coming down now. Ross Mickle's gone past him. Now what is Paul O'Brien going to do, because he's still in with a mathematical chance of the championship as Rally Dave goes sideways, trying to go up the inside of Ross Marshall, but we see him using a bit of care, but not to be. However, these guys from Burnett Motorsport are not giving Ross Marshall they're not giving him a minute, are they? Absolutely not. And we've also got from Legends Racing right in the middle of this, Ross Mickle, definitely with Jeremy McCosh, the quickest man at that camp. But look, Kieran Murray further back down, trying to go up the inside of Davy Allen as they come in towards the hairpin there. And another Davy out the hairpin, Dave Hunter a little bit sideways now. Is that going to let Ross Mickle draft up and draft past? Good to see Ross Marshall coming away from that pit wall. There has been a myth for a while that if you hug the pit wall on a Legend, it makes you quicker. Never been one to believe that. It seems a longer lap if you put that on a PI lap timer. But in towards Scotsman corner, there goes Mickle up the inside. Newell defends heavily. Rally Dave cuts across the front of Mickle. Ross Mickle is looking menacing. There is no getting away from that. Carol Brown has now gotten ahead of Paul O'Brien. So O'Brien has dropped to the back of this snaking Legend straight. Oh, look at that! In towards Clark corner. Mickle goes round the outside of Rally Dave. Surely Rally Dave Newell is not going to let that happen. He shows on the edge of the track, but he's a gentleman as Dave Newell. He gives him just enough room and not a lot more, but he doesn't run him into the gravel trap. Good racing from the number 4 and number 18 car there. As they hit the brakes, look at Brown. Brown comes up the inside of Davy Hunter now and makes another position stick. Ross Marshall is going to be seeing this in his mirrors, and Ross Marshall is going to see that black and white number 7 car getting itself up into 4th position as we come over the crest of the hill, and it's now the last lap. What can Carol Brown do on this last lap? We've got Ross Marshall leading from Rally Dave, and Ross Mickle. Rally Dave takes the lead, and Ross Mickle goes past Ross Marshall also, sideways downhill. Marshall goes from 1st to 3rd in one corner, and the championship is literally falling apart because Carol Brown is all over the back of him now as they come out of Scotsman corner and go down through Butchers up to the John O'Brien chicane. This is an absolute disaster for Ross Mickle. He's got the number 7 car, and the momentum is with the number 7 car as they come up towards Clark corner. Now, can he do anything at the hairpin? Oh, there's contact, and who's off? There's contact, and it's not Marshall or Brown, it's Hunter. No, it's not, it's David Newell, Rally Dave, and Ross Mickle stranded across the track on the entrance to class. You can see the replay there, contact halfway up the back straight, and both those cars have eliminated each other, and that gives the lead of the race to Ross Marshall. Although Carol Brown has a look at the hairpin from a very distant camera angle, it's not to be. It's all going to be about the drag up the hill towards the line. It looks like Marshall's going to manage it. Ross Marshall is just going to get away with this and holds on with the skin of his teeth from Brown and David Hunter in 3rd. 4th position comes Paul O'Brien with Davy Allen, Kieran Murray, and it looked like Colin Atkinson, but what a shame for Rally Dave Newell and also Ross Mickle. Obviously contact just out of camera shot there, and that's ruined the race for those two guys, but so close was Ross Marshall and also Carol Brown to being caught up in the middle of that. That could have been an absolute disaster as we see Davy Newell retiring the number 4 Burnett car in towards the pit lane. So there's heat number 2, round 10. Sees Marshall, Brown, Hunter and O'Brien your winners. A fantastic fastest lap of the race for Carol Brown, a minute point 3, so you can see just how quick the absolute lap times were for these guys going around the circuit. So as we get some slow down laps, the guys go past the stricken Ross Mickle car at Clark corner and head round. We'll get some great interviews after this one from Joe Tanner, no doubt, in the Park Ferme area, and Carol Brown is bound to be sniggering inside that painted RI helmet just now as we ride on board with her heading round towards the hairpin here at Knockhill from the back of the grid to the front. Yeah, you deserve a little wave at the window, Carol. Great driving there. Also great drive from Ross Marshall, though. Two people on top of their game in Legends Racing in Scotland just now. And this championship is all going to go down to the wire. It's going to be down to heat number 3, the final. As we see the guys on the podium, we'll hand down to Joe Tanner in the pit lane.
Third place man in the Legends, David Hunter, making it a Burnett 1, 2, 3 again for who knows how many times this year. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was a tough race. Glad to get 1, 2, 3.
Are you guys in the team aware of the scrap? Obviously you're aware of the scrap that's going on for the championship between your teammates Carl and Ross, but is there any little part of you that doesn't want to get involved?
I mean, I saw Carol come behind me at the hairpin, and when I saw her coming, I was like, I'm not getting involved. It was between her and Ross, and I didn't go offensive, I just let it pan out the way it was. Is that you causing me? Best thing at the road.
Good stuff. Maybe they'll run into each other and give you that win.
Well, maybe. A chance to be a fine thing.
Good stuff. Well done.
Thank you. Cheers.
Second place in the Legends, keeping the championship hunt alive. Again, I'm not going to pretend I understand the points as well as you guys do, but I believe it's 10 points behind now.
Yeah, it's back to where we were this morning. So both of us had the same result, so both had a first and second. So it's going to be completely back to square one again from this morning. It's going to be all down to the final with the two of us starting at the back. So it's going to make it good for everyone standing here watching. So it's what they want to see.
Absolutely, it's amazing to think of all the races we've had this year and everything that's happened, DNFs and incidents and accidents, and every position that you've gained or lost, it's all come down to making it completely level again.
Yeah,
well, basically.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's been tough this year. I mean, Ross has obviously won something like 16 races this year. I've only won 3, so I feel a little bit kind of like the tortoise here, kind of trying to 17. Sorry, it's just corrected me. So I feel a little bit like I'm trying to catch up a little bit here. I'm just trying to consistently keep the points, which is what I've managed to do. And at the start of last meeting, I didn't really think I stood much of a chance, to be honest, and I was quite surprised when I was only 10 points behind. So we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes in the next couple hours. Well done on the second place.
Thank you very much.
17th time, as you just reminded us this year, Ross Marshall, and back to 10 points up in the championship as well.
No, I can't believe how tight it is, but it's exciting. It's going to be a Burnett car that wins the championship this year, which is a fantastic result for the team. Just hopefully it's a number 3, but at the end of the day it'll be good whatever it is.
The point structure in the Legends is totally different to anything else that we're used to here. We do 25 for win and whatnot. Explain to us the difference between where you and Carol need to be in the next race. It's a 10-point gap, but they keep telling me that 10 points is nothing in this championship. What does it mean position-wise? What do you need to do?
Basically, for first, second and third you get an extra 5 points if you win. So if Carol wins this race and I finish second, she'll win the championship by 5 points. If she finishes third and I finish fourth, it'll be a tie.
And that goes to race wins, which gives it to you.
I'm not sure if it was.
That's my understanding, but again, I'm not 100% sure. We'll wait and see how it pans out. But maximum attack in race number 3, and we'll all be watching.
Maximum attack. I'm lucky. I've got a 10 points up my sleeve. It's not a lot, but it can be enough if I can get in front of Carol and just make my car as wide as I can. That'll do. But if Carol gets a good start and gets a break, I'm going to have to push. So it's going to be very interesting. I just hope it's a clean race and none of us get mechanical failures or involved in an incident, and the two of us just get.
Good stuff for us. We're all excited to see what happens.
That's all, man.